Hey everyone, this is Peter, the creator of Rideshare Wars, the card game. And I'm here with Alex, my son. So for now, I'm just going to give you a quick rundown and overview of what the game is all about. So today we're going to do a two-player playthrough. And so the background for the game is that the taxi cartel has collapsed and it had its grip on the 6 northern cities, whichever way north is, 6 of them. And so the taxi cartel is out, you are the leader of a rideshare corporation and you're competing to acquire riders. But you're not the only corporation in town. There's, many of you. And so it's a tight race for leadership and domination. And so in the game is played out over 3 phases. It all takes place in a single day. You know, the morning phase, which is represented by this deck, which represents the morning riders. The afternoon phase, which is represented by this deck, the afternoon riders. And then the evening deck for the evening rush hour, represented by this deck. When these decks run out, it's game over. And so this deck over here, this is the taxi riders pile. These are all the people that have been loyal to the taxis over the years. This right here, this is the curbside. These are all the people that are standing right there on the streets, waiting to flag down a taxi. And little do they know that the cartel is out of business and they don't have any luck today, unless you, Rideshare Corporation, pick them up. To this side here, these are the tool cards. So these, they serve 2 purposes. They have effects, which are recorded at the front, which give you all sorts of benefits. You can also use this tool card as like a form of, currency to pay for some optional actions, which are sort of described in this card. And these enable you to outmaneuver the other players in the game. Right here, these are the loan cards. Each time you run out of drivers, you can get a loan and get 3 drivers. Over here, these are the milestone cards. You have the yellow milestone card, 1 for each city. There's 6 cities, city A, B, C, D, E, F. And then you have the green milestone cards. The difference between these 2 is that you earn a yellow milestone card by having a presence in 3 different zones. So each city has an uptown zone, a midtown zone, and a downtown zone. The moment you have at least 1 card in each zone, then you earn this yellow milestone card. Once you earn it, you keep it until the end of the game.
And this game is about 30 minutes to 1 hour, probably.
That is correct. This game is about 30 minutes to 1 hour. Awesome. And then on the green milestone cards, you earn these ones by having a presence in multiple zones across different cities. And for one of them, just by having a presence in the most cities. You earn 1 when you're the first person to have at least 3 milestone cards, at least 3 rider cards in 3 different zones or cities. But you can lose one of these cards, these green cards, if someone else overtakes your city's count. So if I'm the first to get 3, cards in the midtown zones, then I get a card. If someone else, later turn ends up with 4, a presence in 4 midtown zones, then they get that card. So that's the dynamic which takes place with that.
So let me take a moment to explain how to win the game and why you should care about milestone cards. So there are basically 2 ways to win the game. The first way is to earn a certain number of milestone cards, and that varies with player count. So in a 2-player game like we're gonna play through, that number is 6 milestone cards. If a player earns 6, they instantly win the game and it's game over. And the game only plays to final scoring, which occurs after 15 rounds, if none of the players has earned enough milestone cards to snatch the instant win. And at that point, the player with the highest score, based on the value of the rider cards in their tableau, is the winner. But there's a catch. You only get to score the rider cards that are in the cities you control. And in this case, control means that you have the most number of rider cards compared to other players.
This right here is just the discard pile for the driver cards. And the driver cards are basically the currency that you use to acquire the contested riders. So these are the contested riders right here. And they are drawn from the pile, which sits atop here. So this one is the morning rider pile from which these were drawn. This is how the slots and the cost works. This right here is slot number 1, which is the farthest from the draw pile. Slot number 2, slot number 3, and slot number 4. And the cost, it costs 1 driver card, 2 driver cards, 3 driver cards, 4 driver cards. And so to make an acquisition, if I want to acquire this card, for example, in slot number 2, simply take 2 driver cards, place them in the discard pile, and get this card and place it into my tableau, or place it into my hand. And then for the cards on the curbside, the acquisition cost works differently. Basically, the cost is the points value for the card. So for example, this card right here is worth 3 points. And so to acquire it, you need to discard 3 drivers. Some cards have a variable score, which basically, in this case, for this one, for example, is N, which means the number of cards you have in your tableau. So if you have 0 accountant's cards in your tableau, it means you can acquire this one for 0. If you have 3, then you acquire it for 3. Then you have negative value rider cards. For these ones, you just get them for free. There is no need, you don't get to pay anything. So that's a brief overview of how the game works, and we will dive right into it. All right, so this is me right here, Peter, and that's Chris.
Hello.
He's sort of hiding away from the camera. Not really. Okay, so I guess the first thing we do is to determine who goes first. So I guess we just get to draw 1 card each from the top. And what's mine? 3, give it 1. Okay, so I go first. All right, and since you're going last, so you need to give me the first player card, which is right over there. Okay, and since you're going last, you get 2 bonus driver cards. I guess we need the 2 from the box over here. Okay, right there. Okay, it's my turn. So let's see. Who am I going to acquire? I think it's an easy decision. I'm going to go with Misty. Well, first I draw a tool card. All right, this one looks pretty good. And then I'm going to acquire Mr. Grumpy. And then to add to my tableau, this is the only one that I have. I'm just going to play it right there. And then for my optional actions, I am going to play this card. That's optional action T1. So the effect says gain 2 tool cards. I'm going to get tool cards. Oh, okay. So I pulled a red letter tool card. So this one says the effect is every player discards 1 tool card. So pretty much I'm the only one who gets to pay the price for this one. Okay, so I get rid of my tool card and I have to draw another card. All right, so I get another one. I think it's a pretty good card. So that was my first optional action. For my second optional action, I'll get to play exactly the same card. I happen to get exactly the same one. Okay, so I do get 2 tool cards. Okay, and then the last thing is to slide these guys down by 1, reveal a new one, and put it in slot number 4. And my turn is done. That's your turn, Chris.
Okay, I will draw my tool card. And the effect of the tool card is to gain 2 driver cards, 1 from each of the next 2 players to your left. In a 2-player game, gain 1 from the other player and the other from the discard pile. Okay, so I'm going to take my optional action and play my tool card, and I will gain.
Yeah. So the step number 2 here is to displace 1 contested rider card. So for your optional actions, that would be step number 5. To play your 2 optional actions. Yeah. So you can put this back in hand.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, well I will then I will go ahead and gain my driver card, and I'll go ahead and choose Mr. Grumpy.
All right.
And I use 1 card to do so.
All right.
And I think that's finished, right?
Yeah, and then the step 4 is to lay 1 rider card from your hand onto your tableau. Yeah. So on every turn, you get to lay one card onto the tableau from your hand. In this case, you only hit one.
So I lay it on my tableau.
Yep, that's right. And then step 5 is to play your 2 optional actions.
So is this where I can play my tool card?
Yep, that's right.
All right, well then I will play my tool card now.
Okay, all right. You stole one driver from me. There you
Yes. And I get one driver from the discard.
go. From the discard pile, that's right. All right, and then I guess the last thing which is relevant in this case, I guess step 6 is milestone cards, not applicable.
Right.
Step 7, hand size, we're good. Step 8, set up contested riders for next player. Sliding this down, really a new one. Okay, awesome. All right, so it's my turn. So first thing, draw a tool card. All right, this is pretty cool. Do I want to displace a rider card? No, I do not. Step 3, make an acquisition. All right, so I think in this case, I will use this tool card. So this is maybe the only tool card which can be used to make an acquisition. Step 3, the contested rider acquisition. And this is what it says. On your required action, get a discount of 2 to acquire any contested rider card. For example, discard only 2 driver cards to acquire a rider with a cost of 4. All right, so I'm going to discard this. It gives me a discount of 2. And I'm going to acquire this Mr. Grumpy, which is in slot number 1, 2. And so that means I pay nothing for it. All right, so I add that to my hand. Step 4, lay one rider card onto my tableau. This is the only card I have in my hand. And then step 5, play up to 2 optional actions. So let's see, what do I want to do? I think for the first one, I want to play optional action R1, which says gain rider card from taxi rider's pile. And so to do that, that action has a cost of 1 tool card. I discard it, place it in that discard pile, and then I go ahead and draw 2 cards from the taxi rider's pile, top 2. All right, 2 cards, let's see. I guess both of them are good cards. I will go ahead and I'll keep this one, and then I'll discard this one right there. So that was my first optional action. For my second optional action, you know what? I'm gonna skip a second. And so that's gonna be it for my turn. So the last thing I'm gonna do is slide all these cards down, reveal a new one, place in slot number 4. All right, back to you, Chris.
All right. For my first step, I'll draw a tool card, add it to my hand. It's the only tool card I get. All right. My second step, I'm going to displace a contested rider. So I'll go ahead and pick up the party people and play that card there.
Okay, so that's actually step 3. So for the displace action, this is where, you know, if you don't like the cards that are here,
I see.
or if you're gonna stop me from getting a card, you discard a tool card, get whatever card, place it in the discard pile, reveal a new one, and put it in this place.
Oh.
Okay, so that was
So
step 3.
Step 3, acquire
Yep.
1 contested rider card.
Yep.
And so then step 4, I'll lay 1 rider card down on the tableau.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'd like to play optional actions, step 5. So the one I'm going to play here is Rough Ride. Draw 4 cards from the taxi rider's pile and add 1 or none to my hand, then discard the rest.
All right.
So pick up 4. Okay, so I have, I'm going to go ahead and keep the socialites card and discard the rest.
Okay. Yeah, it's supposed to be a secret.
Oh,
Yeah.
you don't know how strong a socialite is, right?
All right. And then for your hand size, you're good. And then the last thing is just sliding these guys down.
Okay.
And then really new one. Okay. All right, so now it's back to me for my first step. Draw a tool card. Right, there's a pretty decent tool card. For my, do I want to displace any of these? Yeah. You know what? Those Mr. Grumpies, if I get that Mr. Grumpy, it's gonna boost the value from my Mr. Grumpies that I have here. So you know what? I think I'll actually get that Mr. Grumpy. So for my step 3, I'm going to play this one. And so for this one right here, it has this icon at the top. It's called the lay immediately icon, which means it has to go straight from the contested riders to the tableau. Normally it goes to your hand first and then you choose which one from your hand to play. But this one goes right away, so which means I've played step 3 and step 4. So for now, for step 5, play up to 2 optional actions. So for my first optional action, and we'll go with 2. I think I'll play optional action R1 to gain another rider card from the taxi rider's pile. So I pay the cost, discard 1 tool card, then 2 of them, and then I get to choose 1 to keep. Okay, so there we go. I'm gonna keep this one. And that one is gone. Then for my second optional action, you know what? I'm gonna repeat exactly the same optional action. I'm gonna pay the option cost. So 2 cards. Decide which one to keep. I am going to and discard this one. Okay, step 6 and milestone cards. Yeah, I have a presence in 3 different cities, A, F, and E. So now I can earn the most cities milestone card right here. Okay, so I need to have a minimum of 3 cities. I have 1, 2, 3, so I get to earn this one. And I put it over here. For the hand size, I have 3 rider cards. The hand size limit is 4 rider cards and 3 tool cards. And then the last thing is to set up for the next player. Slide all these guys down, reveal the new one, and put it over there.
All right. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and I like the location of this guy here. So I'm going to go ahead and pay 2 cards for him.
All right.
And so then I'll put that in my tableau. And then I think that I've earned a milestone card because I've got 3 different zones.
All right.
So I get the most downtown zones.
All right.
Is that correct?
So it means
Oh, downtown zones.
Yeah.
Not uptown. I see.
Yeah.
So now I gotta get the same zones, not the different zones.
That's right. And so to make it a little easier to scan the tableau, we sort of play the uptown cards at the top, the midtown in the middle, and then the downtown at the bottom. So that way you can get a visual sense for what's in your tableau at any point in time. Yeah. And then I put each city in its own column, so that way you can see how many cities you have at any point. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. And I'll reset this for you.
Okay. Are you playing any optional actions? That's step 5.
I am not at this time.
Okay. Okay, so it's back to me. All right. First thing, draw a tool card. Okay. Do I want to displace anything? Nope. And step 3, acquire a contested rider. So for step 3, I am going to acquire let's see. You know what? I have a card in City E. I could try going for the City E milestone card, but that's a toxic card. Despite the people, its score is -2N, and that could really cost me a lot of points at the end. And so I do not want to get that one. So you know what? I think I will. I think I'll go for the Mr. Grumpy. I think it works really well with my Mr. Grumpy strategy. I'll discard 2 driver cards because it's in slot 1, 2. Get that, add it to my hand. And then step 4, lay 1 rider card into my tableau. So let's see, which one am I going to lay here? I think I'm going to play this one. So this is a City E, and this one is a cut power, and the cut power is gain 1 tool card. Okay, so the cut power is activated when you lay a card from your hand onto the tableau. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and gain 1 tool card from that cut power. Okay, and play up to 2 optional actions. So I'm going to play this one. Yeah, because you stole my driver before. Give me my driver back. Catch bait. Gain 2 drivers. 1 from you, 1 from the game. Alright, and then I gain another one from here. And then for my second optional action, you know what? I think I'm going to go for another rider card from the Taxi Riders pile. So I will discard my tool card here, gain two cards from there, then I get to choose 1. Alright, I think I'll keep this one and I'll get rid of this one. And then earn milestone cards. Yeah, so for milestone cards, I have 3 in the downtown zone: City A, City F, City E. So I do get the most downtown zones card, which is one of the other green cards right there. Okay. So I now have 2 in my tableau, and I have earned 2 milestone cards. Check hand size, I only have 4 rider cards in my hand, which is right at the limits, and then set up contested riders. So we're nearing the end of the phase, so now we just have 3 cards left, cost slot 1, slot 2, and slot 3. Alright, back to you, Chris.
Alright. Start with my tool card. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pick the 2 cards for this Midtown card.
Alright,
Dudes.
alright.
And my next step will be I'm going to lay this card down on my tableau. And the optional effect is gaining 2 driver cards. I can
That's right.
do that now.
Yep, right away.
And then my second optional action is I'm going to play a tool card, Rough Ride, to draw 4 cards from the Taxi Riders pile, add 1 to my hand, and discard the rest.
Alright.
Okay. Okay. There we go. Pick one. then last thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to relocate the cards
Alright.
among set.
Okay. Okay, so let's see. So right now you have a presence in 3 different cities, and so I better get to four different cities quick if I want to keep my most cities card. Okay, awesome. So it's my turn. I start by drawing a tool card. Get that to my hand. These are awful cards. I don't like them. So you know what? I think I'm gonna displace a rider card. So I'm gonna take my tool card. I'm gonna displace this one in slot number 1. And then can you pass me a card from the top of that pile? Okay, I guess it's a better card. And then I'm gonna go ahead and I guess do my required acquisition step 3. Acquire this Mr. Grumpy. So again, does this display immediately icon, so it will go straight from the contested riders into my top row. And play up to 2 optional actions. So you know what? I don't have any tool cards, and I don't want to use my drivers to acquire a tool card. So no optional actions for me this turn. Earn milestone cards. I can't earn any milestone cards. Check hand size. I have 4 rider cards. And then step 8. Well, there's only 1 card remaining.
Okay,
So it's back to you, Chris.
very great.
Yeah.
Start by picking up this tool card. It's a red tool card.
Red letter tool card.
Red
Yeah.
letter tool card. So the effect is play this card right away, then draw another tool card. Every player discards 1 tool card.
Okay. Awesome. I don't have any.
So he doesn't have any.
No, you do. You have a tool card right there.
I have a tool card. I have to discard
Yeah.
my tool card.
Yeah.
Face up here. Down here.
Face down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Yeah. Yeah. I know it hurts a little. Yep. Then you gotta draw another.
Draw
one.
another one. All right. Maybe this will be better. Hey, look at that. Okay. Next, I'm going to. I guess I'm going to go ahead and pick up the last rider.
Or you could displace it if you wanted.
And how much do I display?
So to displace, you discard 1 tool card,
Okay.
and then
I don't have a tool card to discard.
right there in your hand.
Oh, I do have a tool
Yep,
card
yep.
to discard.
Yeah.
Um,
It's optional.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, I will go ahead and discard this guy.
Yep.
Displace him.
Displace.
He
Yep.
goes there, and this guy goes here.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
I like
That's a much better card. Yeah.
I like the DJs. So I'm going to go ahead and pick him up.
Yep.
And but I'm going to put down on my tableau a
No.
F card.
Okay.
So I get to
You have
take
the
your
most cities
milestone
now.
card
I know.
out of the
Yeah.
misses.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, dang it. You know, when I acquired that Mr. Grumpy, it's like, ah man, I was a little too slow. Okay. All right. So that's that. Check hand size. You're good at
Check
hand
cards.
size, and that's it. This is the end of phase 1, the morning phase. All right. So I guess now we set up for phase 2. So the first thing we do is yep. So you can do that.
Shift it to there.
And then I shuffle these back into the tool card draw pile. So I guess while we set up, let me just take a moment to explain the scoring and how to win this game. I realize I hadn't done that. So there are 2 ways to win the game. The first way to win is by earning 6 milestone cards in a 2-player game. The moment you get 6, it's game over. Game is finished. So if no one earns 6 milestone cards, then the game plays over 15 rounds. You know, as you work our way through all these phase piles, and at the end, the scoring is based on, you could call it area control or the right to score, which means that we'll go city by city and say, hey, city A, who controls city A? And the person who controls is the one with the most cards compared to the other. So if I have the most cards for city A, then I get to score city A. If Chris has the most cards for city B, he gets to score city B and I don't, and so forth. All right, so there's that. That's how the scoring and winning works. So these 2 cards draw power, put it back, and we need to refresh the curbside.
Okay.
So we need to discard all those 4 on the curbside and reveal 4 new ones. All right.
So can you remind us how we play the curbside?
Yep, so the curbside, you can acquire a car from the curbside as one of the optional actions.
Okay.
And the acquisition cost is the points value of the card. If the points value is negative, then you just get it for nothing. Yeah. So now you are now the new player.
Okay.
Okay, and now that I'm the last player, I get 2 bonus driver cards. Okay, so you go, and then we reveal the 4 contested riders. Okay, so you go first.
All right. So I'll start by drawing my tool card. And next I'm going to go ahead and acquire a contested rider card. And in this case, I think I'm going to pick I'm going to go ahead and pick the DJ. And then I'm going to lay down, let's see, lay down these socialites. Now the effect is to discard 1 rider card from the hand.
Yep.
So is that one of these rider cards?
That's right.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and discard the DJ I just picked up. And then the optional accessory, or optional actions, let's see. Nope, I'm not going to do that now. And so I'll just reset this.
Okay. Okay, and you're not earning any milestone cards?
Not that I know of.
Nope, okay, alright, awesome. Alright, so it's my turn to start by drawing a tool card. Alright, this is pretty cool. Displays, I don't want to displace anything. Acquire a contested rider. Which one am I going to acquire? Let's see. So that one, accountants for City E, that looks interesting. So this one has an interesting cut power. It means that if you trade any riders during the turn when you play it, then you get 2 extra drivers. So that could come in handy, but I think I'm still doing okay for drivers. Like what, 2, 4, 5, so I'm doing pretty okay. City A dudes, you know what? I could get those. They will give me drivers right away. I think I'm gonna go for those City A dudes. So the cost is 2. So I'm gonna discard 2. Add this to my hand. But do I want to play this right away? Because looks like Chris is now gunning for my most downtown zones card. So I need to defend my card. Alright, so I'm gonna play this one, City D. Okay. So it's a dudes for City D, and that's gonna give me 2 driver cards right away. 1, 2. So this way I get to defend. I now have 4 downtown zones, and Chris won't be able to study for me on his next turn, so that's awesome. Alright, play up to 2 optional actions. So I have this take 2 card, and it's really awesome. It says, discard 1 rider card, then perform any 2 optional actions without paying the action cost. Besides these 2 free, in quotes, optional actions, you may not perform any other optional actions on this turn. So this effect is pretty cool. So I'm gonna play it, and I discard 1 driver card. Then I get to play 2 optional actions without paying the action cost. So for most of these, the action cost is discarding a tool card, so I don't need to do that.
But if I want to acquire one of those guys on the curbside, I still have to pay the acquisition cost. So what am I going to do? So for CDE, you know what? That's a dude's card. Dudes, 2 I want in my tableau, so it's gonna cost me 2 to get that one. And it looks like Chris is also going for CDE milestone card. So I better acquire that if I'm gonna have any chance. Okay, so I'm gonna pay 2. And I'm gonna acquire that dude's from the curbside and I add it to my hand. And so after doing that, and I have 5 cards in my hand, which could be a problem because I need to have only 4 at the end of my turn. If I want to save any of these cards, I have to bank them. And you know what? I think I'm going to bank a rider card. So banking, this is optional action R5, and all it means is I take one of the cards in my hand and I place it face down. So Chris doesn't still know exactly what card it is, and I can one-up him when it comes to final scoring. Alright, so that's my second optional action. Check for milestones. I haven't earned any milestone. For hand size, I have 4 rider cards right at the max. And then last thing set up for you, Chris. I'll slide these guys down, reveal the new one. Okay.
All right, great. Okay, fantastic. So I'm going to go ahead and acquire a contested rider card. Let's see. I like the party people, so I'm going to go with the party people in Group A. So I'm going to play my Uptown E card.
Man, I did not see that coming. Maybe I should have.
And then I'm going to go ahead and play optional actions. I'm gonna get some gasoline money, gain
Okay.
2 tool cards.
Alright.
Uh-oh. One of them is a red tool card.
Oh, so you gotta play right away.
So I play this card right away and then draw another tool card. So every player discards 2 driver cards. So every player discards 2 driver cards.
Oh man, these are the last 2 that I
The
have.
last 2 I have as well.
Yeah, okay. Alright,
And then
so you gotta get another one?
get another one.
Yep.
So then
Oh, did I forget? Did we what happened? Oh, no, that's right. This is your optional action. Sorry, go ahead. Yep.
and so
So that was your first. So now moving on to your second optional action.
doesn't look like I can do any of them.
So just remember, you don't have to play out the effects on the cards.
Right.
You can use them as currency to pay for doing any of these other actions on this card.
Such as getting a loan for more driver cards? Or
Yeah,
something like
well,
that?
yeah. So on the face which says rider cards, in order to do any of these, all you need to do is discard 1 tool card, and then
Okay.
you can go ahead and draw 2 cards from the taxi riders and keep 1. You can go ahead and acquire one of the cards on the curbside.
Okay.
You can do a swap between the curbside and your tableau if you want. You can do a swap between the curbside and the contested riders, or you can bank a rider card. That's on that side.
Okay.
And then if you want to generate more drivers, you can do a trade. So if you go on the flip side, and again driver cards loan actions. If you don't have any loans, so that's fine. But then optional action D2, you can trade 1 rider card from your tableau.
Okay.
Yeah, which means you discard the tool card, that's the action cost, and then
Okay.
you have to discard the rider card from your tableau
Okay.
and get the number of drivers.
equal to the points value.
Number of points. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and do that then.
Yeah.
So let's see.
So keep in mind, you have to you can
Discard
only
dual
trade
card.
a card from the. You can only trade a card that's on the tableau.
On the tableau,
Not from the hand.
not from my hand.
Yeah.
I see.
That's right.
Alright, so, okay, I guess I'm not gonna do that. I'll wait till I play a card and then I'll do that one later. Okay,
Okay.
I'll finish my turn. I'll get my Zone E milestone card.
Yeah, that's right. That is right. Yeah. So one optional action that I like to do is that optional action R1, because if no one gains 6 milestone cards, then the scoring is going to come down to who has the most cards in a particular city in order to control. And that's one way that I use to build up the number of cards in each of the cities.
Okay.
Okay, so that's your turn done, and then the last thing to slide these guys down to build a new one. Okay, so first thing to draw a tool card. Okay, tool card. This is an okay effect. And then displace. I don't want to displace. Now acquire a contested rider. I need to think about it carefully here. You know what? I think I know exactly what I'm going to do for a change. I am going. Oh, I don't have any driver cards, so I have to get a loan. Okay. All right. So I get a loan card, and I get 3 driver cards from here. Okay, that means I can only afford this one, slot 1, 2, 3. And so I am going to you know what, I think I'll acquire this one for CDE. These accountants, add them to my hand. And then I am going to play these dudes in City A. And these dudes, they have a card power, which gives me 2 drivers right away. So 1, 2. Okay? And then for my 2 optional actions, I am going to play my tool card. So this one is a pretty cool effect. And this is what it says. Swap 1 rider card, accept negative value rider cards from your tableau with any 1 card of the same city from the curbside. Immediately lay new card from the curbside and resolve its card powers, if any. Then gain 1 driver card. I'm gonna play its effect. And so in this case, I'm going to swap this dude's card from city A with that DJ from city A. Right there on the curbside. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so I play it into my tableau. I have to resolve its card power, which says gain 1 tool card. I'm gonna go ahead and gain 1 tool card. And then the effect also said then gain 1 driver card. So I'm gonna go ahead and gain 1 driver card. And so by doing this swap, I'll now be eligible to earn the CDA all zones. So that was a pretty cool move. And then for my second optional action, I am going to do you have any driver cards in hand, please?
I do not.
Okay, alright. Well, that means I can't steal any from you. Okay, I think I'm going to go ahead and bank. I'm going to go ahead and bank 1 of my rider cards. So the action cost for banking rider card, that's action R5, is 1 tool card. I'm going to get a rider card from my hand and place it face down like that.
So in your bank, do you earn the points that are on those cards?
Well,
At the end of the game?
eventually. So at the end of the game, all cards that are in your hand, you get to lay them onto the tableau. And if there's any card with a card power that's adverse, that's all those with the little red circles, the card powers, then you get to carry them out. But if it's banged, then you don't get to carry out its card power. Okay, so that's the advantage.
So you would bank the negative cards?
Yeah. The,
Okay.
the negative card power.
Right.
Yeah. Or just to make sure my hand size is managed.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right. So that was my 2 optional actions. Step 6, add milestone card. Yeah. City A, all zones. Okay. There we go.
There you go.
All right. So step 8, set up contested riders. So slide all these cards down. We'll build a new one. All right. Back to you, Chris.
Okay, since I first thing I'll do is I'll draw a tool card. Maybe that'll get me some. All right. So first thing I do, I guess I'll get a loan.
Yep.
To get myself some of these driver cards. And so if one of these is get a discount, so the on your acquired acquisition get a discount of 2 to acquire any contested rider card.
Yep, you can use that.
So I can use that now.
That's right.
I'm going to get a discount, and I'm going to, instead of paying 3, I'm going to pay 1.
Yep.
And get this guy here. And then that will give me, go ahead and play that. It gives me presence in D, in City D.
Yeah, awesome move, because I was looking to get my more cities back, but not now. Yeah.
And then, let's see. Then I can acquire 1 rider card from curbside and get a discount.
Okay, so 3rd phase. So now I'm the one going first now, so that means you get 2 bonus driver cards. We're going last. So there goes the slot 1. Yep. Okay. All right. So yeah, let's do this. So I draw a tool card. All right, this is a good one. And then for my acquisition. So let me see, what am I trying to do here? For my acquisition. So yeah, obviously building up to city C, city B. And I'm nowhere close to city C, city B. I am nowhere close. Okay, and the city F, which is still up for grabs, whoever gets there first. City D, I have I guess I'm a step ahead. Okay, city E, you already took it. All right, so what makes sense for me to acquire here? You know what, maybe city F. That city F makes sense. I guess I need a loan.
All right.
Yep. So loan, I get 3 driver cards. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And then I'm gonna go ahead and acquire the dudes in slot 4. So I'll use this one, the stage. The effect is to give me a discount of 2 on my card acquisition. And then I'll pay a discount of, and then I'll pay 2 additional cards. And then I'll place the dudes in my hand. And you know what, I think I'm gonna play these dudes right away for my step 4.
And they give me my 2 drivers back. And then for my 2 optional actions, I am going to. I am going to. All right, I'm not going to do anything. My optional actions. Step 6 and milestone card. I haven't earned any, did I? I only have 4 uptown cards. We already have 4. So in order to steal that, most uptown zones, I need to do 5. Okay, check hand size. I'm good. And step 8 is the last step set up for you. All right, back to you.
Okay. So. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pay 2 cards and no. He's a pretty negative guy. I'll go ahead and play 2 cards and get Mr. Grumpy.
And that goes onto the tableau right away. Is that laid?
Yep. And discard a rider card on which this card is laid, but there's no cards laid on it.
So you're good.
Yep. Good there.
Yep.
And then the other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to gain 2 driver cards. One from you.
Okay.
One from the stack. And I'm going to go ahead and acquire a curbside guy. Let's see, I'm going to do. I think I'm going to do the accountants because I only got 1 accountant, so it only cost me 1. Right? That how it works?
Yeah, so you need to discard a tool card.
Discard a tool
with
card.
action cost.
Action cost.
Face down.
Face down.
And then you pay the acquisition cost.
Pay the acquisition cost.
Yep.
Alright, it's in my hand. Got it.
Okay. And then you replace it.
Perfect. More counts.
Okay. And then, do you earn any milestones?
Let's see. No, none of the big ones.
Okay.
And none of the little ones are. What's that? Which one is it? Down?
Yeah, most
No.
of them. Yep, I have
Most of it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
No, I'm not even near that.
Yep.
Okay. Yard.
Okay, so back to me. So I'm drawing a tool card. And then I am going to, let's see, which one am I going to acquire here? So I know we're both competing for CDC. CDC. Or are we? I don't know. I guess at least for final scoring. So what should I acquire here? So I guess CDF. I guess CDF is still up for grabs. Whoever gets there first. CDF, you have a Midtown CDF. So if you get that downtown, you'll get 1 step closer. So maybe I should get that, just so you don't get it. You know what? I think I'm going to do that. Okay. So I'll get this CDF DJ. And I'll go ahead and line from my hand onto my tableau. Accountants and CDD. Yeah!
You got it.
Yeah, I knew you were going for it. And then 2 optional actions. So let's see, what do I want to do here? So I think I'll play this one, gasoline money, and then gain 2 tool cards. So 1, 2, okay. And then, you know what? I think that's it for my optional actions. Step 6 and milestone cards. Yeah, City D, where are you? Right there. Alright, I check hand size. I have 3 tool cards, 4 rider cards, I'm good. And last step, set up contested riders for you. And slide those down. There you go.
All right. Start with the tool card. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just go ahead and get a, don't particularly like those guys very much, but don't need any of them in particularly, so I'm going to go ahead and take the fans. And I'm going to lay down these accounts here.
Yep.
To secure my milestone card for
That's
CDC.
right.
And let's see if there's anything else I want. No, there's lots of City C cards over there.
That's right.
Okay, I'll just slide these down, take my milestone card, and I'll be done.
Oh, there you go. Yep.
Got it.
Okay, so. Alright, start by drawing a tool card. Alright, Angry Mayor. Every player discards 1 tool card. Which one shall it be? Okay, I guess I'll get rid of this one. Draw another one. Alright, then for my acquisition. Okay, so let's see, what am I trying to do here? I have too many of these loans, and that could be really bad. So, you know what? I think I will. You know, I think City B could still go to anyone. So I'll go ahead and acquire that DJ, City B. Put that to my hand. And then I am going to play a City C card. That's going to give me a tool card. Play the DJ, gain 1 tool card. I'll go ahead and gain a tool card. And then for my optional actions, so the first one, let's see, I am going to, let me see, what's in my, yeah. So for City A, I guess your City A is in no contest. You're not really contesting City A. So I am going to go ahead and get rid of Mr. Grumpy. So this is, I'm going to do a trade for Mr. Grumpy. So to trade Mr. Grumpy, this one says discard 3 driver cards. I'm going to go ahead and play my console ride. It says trade 1 negative value rider card from your top row and discard 2 driver cards less than required. So go ahead and discard this. Okay. And then I pay on discard only 1, so I get a discount of 2. And then for my second rider card, for my second action, I'm going to go ahead and let's see. All right, I will. Oh, it gets tough. I will. Yes, I'll do nothing. 1 second, I'm sorry. So, any milestone cards, I'm not earning any. And then set up for you. Slide one down and reveal this one here.
All right. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and take a loan. And then I'm gonna. Oh, need a tool card though.
Oh, yeah, bring out the code.
Okay. Then I'm gonna pay 2 and get Mr. Grumpy. And play this immediately. And then I have to discard a rider card, but there's nothing underneath it. So.
Yep.
Then I'm gonna do Rough Ride and draw 4 cards from the Taxi Riders pile.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, things are looking pretty bad for me. Things are in pretty bad shape.
Okay. And I don't think I got any milestone cards, so I'll just go ahead and finish things off.
Okay. Okay, so you have five milestone cards. If you get one more, it's game over.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Looking pretty bad. Pretty bad. Okay, so what do I need to do? 'Cause I'm in bad shape here. I'm in really bad shape. I start by drawing a tool card. Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Red letter tool card. Every player discards 2 driver cards. Luckily, I don't have any. So yeah, you get to get rid of those 2.
Oh.
And I draw another one. This one doesn't count. It's another red letter.
Good thing. I didn't want to do the search pricing.
Yeah. All right, then get another one. And now I get to do an acquisition. All right. Man, I have to get another loan. These loans, they are really expensive. Okay, I get 3 driver cards. 1, 2, 3. Okay. All right. Okay. So now the CDB and CDF, the milestone cards, and there's none on the contested riders, so I might be safe. But I don't know what's in your head. Okay, let's see. What should I do here? Okay, these are desperate times, so I am going to let me try to displace, see what happens. So I'm gonna displace the DJ.
Okay.
Okay, all right, that's a good card for me. Then I'm going to acquire 1 contested rider. Okay. this one. Slot 1. Get that, and I'll play a City A dudes, and the dudes with a card power that gives me 2 drivers immediately. 1, 2. Okay, then for my optional actions. I'm going to play I'm going to play the take 2. So I need to discard 1 driver card and then perform any 2 optional actions for free. Okay. So the first action I'm going to do is a swap between the curbside and tableau. So that's optional action R4. So it needs to be same city swap. So I'm going to swap Mr. Grumpy for DJ. And then the second thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play Rough Ride and search for I need to get 4 of those, and then I get to choose 1. Keep 1. Alright. Okay. So those were two optional actions. I need to earn milestone. I haven't earned any milestones. And then hand size. So for hand size, I have 5 rider cards, so I need to get rid of 1. So you know what? I think it's gonna be this one. Okay. Then slide this down, and it's your turn.
Okay.
All right.
Start with my tool card.
Yep.
Oh, it's a red one. But we're
Yep.
gonna got 2 of them already.
That's right.
Gasoline money, 2 tool cards, but I gotta put it in the FX, right? And I can't play that now.
Yeah, with the optional actions.
That's later.
Yep.
Okay. Then, so the first thing I'm gonna do is I gotta take a loan because I need to buy. Gotta buy my mandatory cards. And I'm just gonna go ahead and buy the. Oh, I want to be. I'll go ahead and buy the accountants. And then I'm going to lay 1 rider card on the tableau.
No! And it's game over.
And it's game over. But I'm going to play some optional, but I need to discard a rider card to do so.
Yeah, show off.
So, discard my rider card. And then, optional actions, I'm going to do some gasoline money. Earn 2 of these. And I'll gain 2 driver cards while I'm at it.
Yeah. Just so you can see how big your loot is.
1 for you, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's fine.
Okay.
That's right. That's right.
And my milestone card.
That's right. And it's game over.
Game over.
Oh man. for final score. Okay, so I already lost, but we're just going to show you guys how final scoring works. So far, Chris already went ahead and laid all the rider cards that were in his hand into his tableau. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same. I have, I guess, 5. I need to get rid of 1, so I'll just get rid of any here. So I'm going to take City A, Mr. Grumpy. So Mr. Grumpy says, I guess for all the cards that have the little red circle around the card power, you have to carry out the effect with a little modification.
So, Mr. Grumpy, you have to discard the card on which it's laid. So in this case, there was another card here. I have to discard it right away. So, DJ goes. City B, there's a little red circle around it, and the card pauses discard a tool card. So I happen to have a tool card, so I discard that. Party People A, it's another discard tool card. I go ahead and lay it, but I don't have any tool cards. And this is where a little variation comes in for final scoring. If you don't have a tool card to discard, then you must discard another card from the same city, except negative value card. In this case, I'll go ahead and discard this dude's card. It's worth only 1 point. And I finally have this one in my hand, City E, Accountants. I'll just go ahead and put it there. And then after laying all the cards in my hand, I lay all the cards in my my bank rider cards. In this case, I have this F fence. I'll go ahead and put it there. And E, dudes for E, I'll go ahead and put them right there. Okay. So now that we have all our cards laid out in our tableaus, now it's time to determine who has the right to score which city. So we go city by city. So City A, I have 4 rider cards in my tableau, and you have one. That means I get to score City A. I just tally up all the points for my cards in City A, and I get the score for that, and you don't. Okay? And then go to City B. So City B, I have 3 cards, you have 3 cards. So we both score City B, since we're tied, okay? For City C, you have 3 cards, I have 1. So you score City C, okay? For City D, I have 3 cards and you have 2, okay? And I score City D. And then for City E, I have 4 cards and you have 5. So that means you get to score City E. So if you hadn't won by milestone cards, if you hadn't gotten 6, then this is how the scoring would have worked. I would score the cards that are still facing up right now. Oh no, City F. For F, you have 3, I have 2. Yeah, okay. So that means I would have scored the cards that are still facing up, only these ones, and Chris would have scored the cards that are facing up in his tableau. And so that's how the scoring works if you happen to get to the end without someone winning via milestone cards. All right, awesome. All right, so this is Chris's tableau, and just wanted to explain one thing about the scoring the negative value cards. So in this case, we're just flipping them over to make it easy to see which cities are scored by who. But when it comes to actually tallying up the score for the cities that you have the right to score, when you get to the negative value cards, they consider all the other cards in the tableau. So for example, in this case, Chris had the right to score City C, and this Party People card, the score is -2 multiplied by the number of Party People cards in the tableau. So, let's count how many Party People cards are in here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so there's 4 Party People cards in the whole tableau, regardless of whether or not they're in a city that Chris has the right to score. So it means that this card is worth -8 points. -2 multiplied by 4 cards, so -8. All right, so just wanted to make sure that I explained.